Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to iGyan. Today we're checking out the iQOO Neo 9 Pro. Now this is different from their Chinese version of the device. So this is more for the global markets. There's a little bit of a spec difference between those phones and this phone, but this is more the Neo 9 overseas and the Neo 9 Pro as it is launched in India. So in this video, we're going to talk about the features, the specifications. We are also going to show you the unboxing. So let's quickly get into it. Now you saw the unboxing and you saw that everything is included. We've got this in the fiery red color with this vegan leather back panel. Now this is a contrasting design. I don't know if everyone is going to like it. I have mixed feelings about it, but it does feel nice in the hand. It's soft to touch and the contrast stitching looks nice. It almost looks like you have a case on the back. The phone itself is fairly slim with just over 8mm for this vegan leather option, but you do also have this phone available in a black, Conqueror black they call it, which does have a glass back, and that one is less than 8mm in terms of thickness, so both are fairly slim, but if you want an even slimmer phone you can pick the glass variant. Now you do have chamfered edges on the frame as well, so despite being slim it feels comfortable in the hand and it doesn't catches on any corners while you're using the phone, so it doesn't have any sharp edges, which is nice. The phone is IP54 rated, so it is splash and dust resistant, and overall it seems to be built well and feels really nice in terms of its quality of materials. Now the display itself is a 6.78-inch display. It's an AMOLED display. It does have a 2800 by 1260 pixel resolution and 3000 nits of peak brightness, which is all excellent, and it does go up to 144 Hz. So it'll stay in 60 and 120 Hz in your day-to-day tasks and for most scenarios, but if you do get into gaming and if your game does support it, you can go up to 144 Hz. They also do have a overclock touch sampling. So standard touch sampling is at 120 Hz, but you do get an instant touch response of 2000 Hz for a very short frame of period, and then during gaming it is overclocked to 3000 Hz of touch sampling, which improves your gaming experience overall. The phone itself has dual speakers, so stereo speakers, and the sound is pretty good. Here is a sample of what the speakers sound like. Now the prices for this phone start at 39,999, and that is for a lesser variant, but you can pick a higher variant and it goes up to 46,000 rupees approximately. You do have two color options, an icy blue, the one that we have is a glossy finish. The display itself has good color reproduction as well as great viewing angles. It is an LTPO display, which will be useful in a lot of things, especially the always on display, which dims down the refresh rate to save on battery life. The phone is running on Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, so it's not the latest with the Gen 3, but it is not the oldest, so it's just a generation back, and that was a really powerful chip and this device has that. So in terms of benchmarks, here are the results of both benchmarks for Geekbench as well as Antutu that you can look at. What is also interesting is that this phone is only available in one storage option, which is the 256GB, and you can choose between the two RAM options, but you do have RAM extension available from the menu as well. Now there are some game specific features built in. There is an ultra game mode. You also have specific 4D gaming vibrations so that you will feel vibrations during gaming in a different way. And then you also do have an AI voice changer that you can use for in-game chats, which is really interesting as well. So if you're into gaming on your phone and you do that extensively, those features are available from the game menu on this device. So on the back are two cameras, which I do like. It's not full of random cameras and there is no 2-megapixel macro, which is absolutely brilliant and I appreciate that. This is the main 50-megapixel camera, which is the IMX 920, which does do great photography during the day as well as during the night, and their night mode is what they've pushed for a while, and that is going to be a main highlight of this phone as well. And here are some samples for you guys to look at. The other camera is an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera, although I think a lot more people appreciate the telephoto camera, but you can do a digital zoom with a crop on the 50 megapixel camera. So an 8 megapixel ultra wide makes more sense to me than a random 2 megapixel macro camera. So therefore the cameras are much more appreciated on this device. You can do 8K video as well as 4K 60 FPS from this phone. The front camera is a 16 megapixel camera, but on the front you can only do 1080p video at 30 frames per second, which is a little bit of a letdown. But I feel that a lot of people don't use the front camera for video recording. Maximum you use it for video calls, so that's fine. But if you do use the front camera for video recording, this will only do 1080 at 30 frames per second, so you should be aware of that. So the phone has a 5160 mAh battery, which should last you almost a full day if you're using it for extensive usage. And they've also bundled up a 120 watt charger in the box, and this phone will charge up to 120 watts, and it obviously phases between different charging rates, but at its peak it'll go up to 120 watts, which is super fast charging. And with the large 5160 mAh battery, you can expect a full day's use. Especially if you're a light user, you can get easily more than a day's use. You can actually go into the second day without needing a charge. So with respect to that, it's really good, and it also charges up quickly. So as long as you have a USB-C cable and a fairly fast charger lying around, it will charge up the device quickly. The phone does support Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 5.3, which are the latest standards. In fact, the Wi-Fi 7 specifications for routers are just rolling out. So this is basically ahead of Wi-Fi compatibility, much like the other phones that we have seen. And it does support a whole range of 5G bands as well, which we will put on screen for you guys. The phone also does have pretty good speakers as well as support for Wildvine L1. So if you're streaming, you'll have no issues with that whatsoever. Here is a sample of the microphone of the iQOO Neo 9 Pro. Here is a sample of what the microphone on the iQOO Neo 9 Pro sounds like. Overall, we are fairly impressed with this device. It does some good photography. It has a really sleek design. I'm not too sure about the back with the dual contrast, but the battery life is good and the fast charging is exceptional. The price range is also pretty impressive. For a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, it does perform really well, and it has all the specs and features that you would ask for from a phone, but basically the chip is one generation behind, but you do save a lot of money if you compare it to current gen flagships. So is this something that you're looking at? Let us know in the comment section below. If you have any specific questions or queries about the iQOO Neo 9 Pro, let us know that in the comment section below as well. This has been Bharat. I'll see you guys in the next one.